Welcome back to High School DxD, episode number 6. This time I'm reviewing the 1 OVA for Season 3 and the 6 shorts. First let's talk about the OVA, the Unresurrected Phoenix. The only one of the 4 OVA does not have the word breast in it. And yes, it is written by the creator of the series. And this is loosely fitted to canon. I would say that of the 4 OVAs, this one and the second one, you can kind of loosely pin to canon. But in the case of the first and third one, not really. This one, it does kind of follow up with a couple of things from the series. Like, it follows what happened to the Rise, like after the events of Season 1, where he's been mopey. And of course, I'll follow what happened with Revel, a few things here and there. And we also get a chance to see in this OVA, we briefly see, for like a brief cameo, Rise's chess team, his servants. You briefly see them as they're walking by to his bedroom. And you get a chance to see the Phoenix house, and it lives up to its name, the whole Phoenix stuff, because there's fires all over the place. Oh yeah, and I thought it was really nice the fact that the reason why they're here, the reason why that Issei and Reese are here, is because Revel asked them to. She came to the club room. Yep, she came to the club room. I think this is her second visit to the real life world. Yeah, she visited and she asked to help them out, and they agreed to. Normally, when it comes to meetings like this, a lot of the time, the rest of the servants stand behind the couch that Reese is sitting on, and I mean everybody. This time it's just Reese and Issei. This kind of makes sense because Issei is kind of responsible for this, so we want season 4 too. Okay, fine. So they all travel there via the train, which is the second time they've actually taken the train in this series. This is also the only time outside of the main series they've actually taken the train to the underworld. They go there, briefly see a cameo, like I said, of the team. He's basically messed up, and of course they drag him out, and they contact the trainer guy from the most recent season to train him. And of course the references training. It's a good montage, like running, stuff like that. There's even this really cute scene of Issei and Revel just sitting in the snow, despite having all this air blowing around, and they're eating pancakes. Yep, in the middle of a snowstorm. Though there's a thing behind it that basically blows like the thing away, so it gives us like a good clear thing. I mentioned the hot springs thing. I mentioned that there's a hot spring nearby. Yeah, recent rails near is a hot spring. So that's hints at something later. And of course, Rise overheard the conversation. I'm like, how in the world can he overhear the conversation? He's middle of a training and he's like far away. Yet somehow he overheard the conversation. As far as I can tell, they weren't talking very loud. They were talking pretty normally, and somehow he overheard it. Made a fake dummy himself, drive Rise over so he can see Race's chest. Yeah, and of course, him and Issei fight in the sky. He knows Issei's gotten stronger. And of course, he gets a good kick from Issei, and Issei crashes in the hot spring and sees all the women but naked, including Revel for the first time. Though I highly doubt this is actually going to affect the actual series, because in the actual series, I don't think he's actually seen her without clothes on. Because they've seen pretty much everybody else with their clothes on. Heck, this is probably the second time in this series he's seen Rita without her clothes on. And yet this gets ignored. He's seen almost everybody else without their clothes on, but not Rita. Because she's pure and everything. And of course he gets kicked away, and Revel basically notes that he compliments the kick, and he's talking about how high class devils are more sturdier, stuff like that. It's a good conversation, and of course they end with them fighting. Very good OVA. I thoroughly enjoy this thing. This is actually really good. This is kind of does loosely fit into the canon, though the stuff of the hot spring stuff probably ignored in the actual series. But yeah. As for these shorts, okay, we have Reese and Akeno. Girl fight. Yep, it's just Akeno and Reese just put in cosplaying as various things. Like Reese is cosplaying as a teacher, and Akeno is proposing as a married wife, a married woman. Except that she's the third woman in this series who does this thing where wears an apron and nothing else. Yep. and they're constantly trying to seduce him, and he ends up basically fainting after blood loss. Yeah, it's a particularly weird one, but it's quite hilarious. One of two I could think of where he doesn't get punished for something. Next, we have the Church Trio's underwear option, where you see Irina, Zenobia, and Aja all in their underwear, and they all talk about their underwear. And of course, Aja mentions that she got her current underwear she's wearing. She got that from Reyes, and of course, somehow Issei's in the room. Somehow that Zenobia probably knows about this, and he's hiding in the locker. You don't see him. You see him just reveling right now. This is probably the only one of these shorts he does not physically show up at all. Yeah, this is a particularly very weird one. Yep, the next one is Kiniko's Senjutsu treatment. Yeah, doing the healing thing. And of course, she's in a robe and underwear, and he's just wearing like a pair of shorts. Do some healing. And then her suggesting that he had sex with her, and of course, he kind of turns it down. And mentioning that Ankano and Reyes are bad influences. Of course, Reyes gets upset by this, even threatening that he should never touch her again. It's just quite weird, but yeah, these OVAs were really going place. They just make these just for pure fun. But it's kind of weird to see Kiniko, for doing stuff like this. Yeah, next one is Leviathan Sotan. Yeah, these, but don't particularly. Well, I'm trying to think about this one. I think this was I'm trying to remember. It's particularly because I just watched this one. I'm trying to remember which one this one was. I remember what the fifth was. It's Stevie Griffithia. It's basically Issei in a bathhouse with Griffithia, the maid, who also happens to be the Demon King's wife, and she's washing his back, and she says his back looks weird. And of course, it turns out she's actually drunk, and she knows that he was staring at her breast the whole time. Even he knows basically trying to get involved with her is a terrible idea. 2 reasons. 1, she's the housemaid, and 2, she's Demon King's wife. If he does get involved with her, he would get killed instantly. Oh, this one. Yeah. The 4th one is the Magical Girl one. Yeah, this one was weird. Okay, we have... This is probably Issei himself does not physically show up in. Yeah, that's something particularly very weird. He's referenced another one. Okay, you have... If I can get this roll up properly. It's the class president and her older sister. You have Serapha and Sona. Yeah, Serapha basically is a fan of magical girl stuff, so she puts on the outfit and has her younger sister. Yeah, a woman who looks like it could be her older sister is her younger sister. This was the second anime I've actually seen like this. The only other series I've seen like this, where you have a little girl who has a sister who looks older than she is, and yet she's the younger sister. The only other series I've seen is One Punch Man. We have Terrible Buzzard and Terrible Twister, where Terrible Twister so I think look like a little girl, and being the younger of the 2 sisters, she's actually the older one, and Buzzard is the younger sister. It's kind of the same thing here. She basically kind of tricks her to put on the outfit. She puts on the outfit, and of course she has to take it. She doesn't want to take it off, but you have to do this special cutesy dance. And then I do the first time, you're like, after trying out, like think it's a little tight, trying to take it off. You have to do the cutesy dance, and well, she tries doing it. It was okay, and she's like, you have to do it the cute way, and then does it, and then the clothes just magically fall off, just like that, just completely random. A weird one. The last one is basically with Issei, and this is by far the only one he pops up in for the. Because one thing about these shorts, it's kind of the same thing with the first one. It's like he does something and he gets punished for it. Not with spankings, mind you, just various punishes various ways. This is probably by far the only one he's shown up in, and he does not get. Well, the other one he basically got in the way of well, Griffey and Reyes. Reyes kind of knocked him out. He fell in the water. Though that's where it kind of short ended. This one is just, well, Rose was the Valkyrie overreacting because she's a teacher. Yeah, she's overreacting to Issei because she knows he's a pervert, and like he dropped an eraser and he can use the excuse to look up her skirt and cause her clothes to disappear. That didn't happen. Then they tried to throw sort of a window, and of course, think that caused her dress to break, do a dress break thing, and then flying out the window, pulling it up, and then eventually, what caused the clothes to disappear? Well, it's not, let's say, any of the stuff she imagined. It's because that there's a string, a little thread that's loose. Issei pulls it, and her clothes basically shred, with the exception of her underwear. And he's like, and it ends with, "They'll never get married," even though she gets engaged to him later on. I'm serious. Seriously, this happened with her. Yeah, it seems like in one particular novel, he proposes like half the women of the series for absolutely no reason because it just feels like it. Yeah. Out of all of these shorts, I would say the one I actually kind of enjoyed out of all of these. I mean, I did enjoy the Steaming Gray Fella. That was a good one. And the Kiniko one, that was kind of a little fun. I didn't like the ending of it, but it was a good little OVA. The Magical Girl one was odd. Reese and Aniko, that was pure hilarity. But I gotta say, for season 3, this one had better shorts than the ones for season 1. Yeah, season 1 did not have good shorts at all. This one actually did a lot more better with these ones. That's the thing with Born. It seems like they're trying to outdo the stuff they did with season 1, and they did when it comes to stuff like this. So that's particularly it for this review. Stay tuned for my review of the newest episode, JoJo Adventures, which is the last video to do today. But for this series, however, for these episode stuff, there's one more left I'm going to do. Excuse me, because the rest of the time I do anything for the series, it will be a series of specials. Talk about the remaining 17 light novels. Next one for this particular series, we're talking about the 4th season of the series, which actually aired just this year. I should point out, though, these OVAs, the shorts, the OVA actually came out 6 months after it ended, after the season 3 ended in Japan. Yeah, I'm not kidding about that. That's seriously what happened. And between the seasons, between like the OVA and the season itself, there was, of course, these 6 shorts. Yeah, it's like Born was like trying to do everything. The first OVA actually aired like within like 1 month after it actually ended in Japan, but yeah, it aired 1 month after it came out, and like next one was in August, then October, and then you have October to December. Steaming Graphic actually aired on Christmas Day. Yeah, Christmas Day of all things. The OVA actually came out in December. I think it came out before the 5th one. Yeah, it came out before the 5th one, before the 5th short, and the last one came out in 2016. And when we look it up here, that's the last thing anime released for this series for, what would be until 2 years later, we can find something new for this series, and that, of course, came out this year with Hero. Yep. Though I still think it's weird that you have it, and I forgot to talk about this in my particular review for Season 3. This is by far the first dub series I've watched where they changed the lead actor while doing the same studio. Change it after only 2 seasons. Now, the only show I've seen like this where the voice cast is from the same studio and the main actor changed was actually the 2012 Teenage Turtles series, where they had the main character, Leonardo, had voice actor changed a couple times. Now, some of you might be thinking, what about Sailor Moon? That had several different voice actors. There's an explanation for that. 4 different dub studios did the original Sailor Moon series. Viz Media actually is the only one who actually has dubbed more than 1 season. They've dubbed pretty much the entire series. I think they have 1 more season left to come out for that. Now, there have been other series where they replaced actors during the course of the show, like Bleach, like I brought my shirt. Bleach had with Kapachi, and of course, you're lucky because, well, the original actor retired. And it's happened a few other times. Usually it happened to supporting characters, never for main characters. I know Viz Media has never done this at all, where you have one particular character and he's had two different voice actors in the English dub. Yes, Viz Media, as far as I can tell from the shows I've watched they've done, they have never done this at all. Funimation, this is the first I've ever seen it for this one. Excuse me. And I am enjoying the Funimation dub for this series. And it's good. I still don't get why in the world they had to change the main character's English voice actor. As far as I don't know what the reason is. But I have a couple theories of why. Either one, he probably was Funimation either probably ended his contract, wanted anything to do with him, like they did for a particular dub actor who did Staryu, where he voiced one of the villains for Toriko, the one who voiced the character who was later to be Toriko's twin brother. Yeah, I heard that his voice actor got in trouble because he was charged with some kind of sex crime, and Funimation ended his contract and they cut off all contact with him. Yeah. In the case of this, I think that either one, he was unavailable to do these two seasons. He was probably unavailable because, well, the season came out like roughly just a couple years after the last season did, so he's probably busy. There was scheduling conflicts, or as far as I think the guy's still working for Funimation. I'm not really sure. Either that or he got fired. That's the only theories I can think of. Because as far as I can tell, the original dub actor, he is still acting as far as I know. Yeah, he's still voice acting, and he's still alive. So there really is not an official reason why. If I get a chance to meet anybody who actually worked in this particular series, I'm going to ask, why in the world was the main character's English voice actor replaced? Yeah, I don't care who acted me. I wouldn't mind for me Christopher Sabat. I know he worked in this series. Yeah, he worked on like all 4 seasons. So I'm gonna ask him about it because I'm sure he would know because he probably has interacted with the main character, the guy who voiced the main character, almost as a lot of the other voice actors. And I'm sure he must have know the reason why. After all, he is the big name of the entire series. Yeah, Colleen Clickenbeard is in this series, but she voices one of the characters who's from Revel's team of servants. That's basically what she does. And Tyler McCorn does pretty much the same thing. I don't know who he voices, but he voices one of the other characters here as well. Yeah, it's like 2 of my favorite dub actors who were in this series, and they voice minor characters. I don't have a problem with the actress who plays Reyes. Fantastic voice actress. First time I've actually seen her do a female lead for an actual series, because I've only heard her voice in just a couple other series, and that's in Fairy Tail and Soul Eater. I think I've heard maybe a couple other series, but those 2 series come to mind. Yeah, otherwise that's really it for this particular review. Stay tuned for my review of JoJo's Adventures soon when I get a chance to watch it. Okay, I'll do you next review. Bye.